Hikikomori are reclusive people who withdraw from social life, often seeking extreme degrees of isolation and confinement. Despite this sociological phenomenon's reputation as a modern form of social withdrawal associated with Japan since the 1990s, cases of similar conditions have been reported in other parts of the world. Charles Dickens's Great Expectations, however, shows that perhaps the issue, while more prevalent now, has been around even during the 19th century, as evidenced by one of the book's main antagonists, Miss Havisham. In this video, I aim to motivate the classification of Miss Havisham as a Hikikomori by exploring the parallels between her and the modern-day Hikikomori's characteristics in isolation, the causes, and the social and familial impact of their condition. Hikikomori are typically classified as such when they isolate themselves in their homes or rooms for periods of 6 months or longer. The severity of the isolation varies from cases where the person may only go out for necessities a couple of days a week to not going out at all. What is certain is a blatant refusal to participate socially, including a refusal to attend school or work. In Great Expectations, by the time an 8-year-old or so Philip Pip meets Miss Havisham for the first time, she has secluded herself in a room for over a decade. Furthermore, the age estimates that support the above also show that she had been shut in since her early to mid-20s, when she was jilted on her wedding day, a point that we'll cover in detail shortly. This age is when Hikikomori typically decide to hem in for the first time.
Look at me. You're not afraid of a woman who's never seen the sun since you were born?
No.
An aspect of the novel which only enhances the gothic aura of Miss Havisham is that her question to Pip in this quote is literal in its claim. She had, in fact, not set her sights on the sun for decades. Sette's house, her mansion, is described as dark even during the day, and one needs a candle to light themselves through the halls. With the addition of all the clocks having been stopped at 20 minutes to 9, the moment she learned of her betrayal at the hands of her betrothed, Miss Havisham veils the passage of time from herself. Her bedroom is in a preserved state of dishevelment and her own person is set aside, as young Pip notes. I saw everything within my view which ought to be white, had been white long ago and had lost its luster and was faded and yellow. I saw that the bride within the bridal dress had withered like the dress and like the flowers, and had no brightness left but the brightness of her sunken eyes. This aligns with the studies of Hikikomori that have found that their typical behavioral patterns involve excessive time spent on solitary pastimes like surfing the internet, gaming, or watching television. All this is often done during the night and at times while neglecting personal hygiene. Why would a person hide themselves away from their fellow man? After all, the canon is that humans are a social species. Most religious teachings that I've encountered almost always have their own version of love thy neighbor, imploring us to walk through life in fellowship. Well, there isn't any established cause for Hikikomori. Some cases seem to stem from societal factors such as stressful education systems or difficulties or failure to enter an ever more competitive job market. Other cases are familial in nature, where the emergence of Hikikomori correlates with dysfunctional family settings or trauma. Individual factors also play their part, as some patients are reported to exhibit newly social avoidant behavior after a particularly stressful event before becoming Hikikomori. Miss Havisham's cause leans towards a dysfunctional family situation and, of course, a traumatic event. You see, having inherited the majority of her father's wealth and property, Miss Havisham's jealous half-brother Arthur conspires with the man she falls in love with, the loathsome Compeyson, to swindle her fortune. On her wedding day, while dressing, Miss Havisham receives a tell-all letter from Compeyson that reveals the conspiracy and that she has been jilted. Forsaken and shamed, she confines herself to Saty's house and decays along with the mansion until her death. Despite initially adopting a daughter with good intentions, she nurtures Estella, the daughter, into a weapon meant to win men's hearts, only to cruelly crush them. As one expects, this upbringing doesn't lead to a fulfilling life for Estella. Tamaki Saito, a psychiatrist who extensively researched and popularized the term Hikikomori with his 1998 book, terms this arrested development of Miss Havisham as adolescence without end. Financially, however, Miss Havisham is in a fortunate position due to her inherited wealth. In fact, her poorer relatives, the humbugs and toadies, are the ones who want to mooch off her. On the other hand, the roles are reversed for the average Hikikomori who must rely on their parents for food and shelter. Aging parents find themselves supporting their adult Hikikomori children, resulting in situations such as the one described by the 80-50 problem. Parents in their 80s caring for Hikikomori children in their 50s. I'm reminded of the Japanese novel Welcome to NHK by Tatsuhiko Takimoto, who himself is a recovered Hikikomori, where the main character, Sato, eventually only goes out of his room to find a job out of desperation due to his parents no longer being able to financially support him. The character of Miss Havisham is fascinating to read because of the conflicting emotions of reproach towards the treatment of Pip and Estella against the pity for the treachery she suffers at the hands of the men she loved. I admire the depth and understanding with which Charles Dickens wrote her character. He vividly portrayed a 19th century woman living through a condition that now, in the 21st century, is a sociological phenomenon.